Hello, my name is Mario Martinez and welcome to this continuation of the tutorial number 5. This is tutorial number 5 part 2. In this tutorial we're going to be learning how to make a simple pick and place machine. In this case, we're going to use the previous station, the one that we did in the previous tutorial. Remember, in this tutorial, in this station, I can move the conveyor, like for example, like this one. I can move my gripper, I can open it and close it. And I have designed the mechanisms and everything. So in this tutorial, we're going to add some more pieces to my station so that we can do the pick and place. To do this, we are going to first go to import geometry. We're going to import the PCR fixture assembly blue. Let's open that one. There you go. I have it there. I'm going to move it. First of all, I'm going to move it to the position, like with set position. I'm going to put it closer to where I want. In this case, I want it on top of this tray. So I'm going to put it closer there, like there. Yeah. You can see that I need a rotation. So I'm going to rotate it like 90 degrees, apply. But it's not quite there yet. So for the pieces that are complicated, or like for example, you see we have the series offsetted from the corner because this has no corners, and we want to put it like in there. For this type of geometries, we can use another tool that is called place. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. We can place it in different ways. In this case, we're just going to select 1 point, and we're going to select like the middle there of this square from. Yeah, and then we're going to select 2, the second point, like this one. Yeah, and we're going to say apply, and there you go. Now I have my my PCR fixture, well, not the fixture, but the plate in position. I can close this. Yeah. Now, one thing that I will notice is that if I move my conveyor, like if I move it, this stays in the same place. What I need to do is I need to attach this object to the movement of my conveyor. To do that, we're going to select it from the layout tab. We're going to right click on it, and there you go, attach to. There is an option here that says attach to, and I can attach it to whatever I want. In this case, I wanted to attach it to the link 2 of the conveyor. Yeah, I'm going to attach it there. And I don't want to update the position because what this is going to be doing is going to change the position based on the fixture. In other words, what's going to happen is that if I update the position, if I press yes to update the position, the 0 of the piece is not going to be with respect to the 0, to the origin 0. It's going to be now to the origin of this fixture, which in this case, in fact, I can just press yes and then Control C. You will see it will change the position, totally change the position, you see? Because now it's based on that 0, over there. That is the 0 of this plate, yeah, or of this tray, I'm sorry. So we don't want that. We want it to attach and be in that position, you know, and be kept in that position when we attach it. So I'm going to attach to conveyor L2, and I'm going to say, do you want to update the position? No, I don't want to update it. I want to be attached and remain in that position. So attach in that position. So if I press no, it doesn't move anymore. But now it's still attached. So now I can move, like I can go to simulation. I can go to IO simulator. And if we remember, I can move my conveyor, and now it moves with my conveyor. Yeah. So we can see that now the only thing remaining now is to program some sort of algorithm to move the robot to this toward this plate and grab and drop it into another place. But before we grab and drop it into another place, I'm gonna make some other small things. I'm gonna add some other things so that it looks a little bit better, this station. So I go to modeling, I go to solid box. I'm gonna create a small box. I think I'm gonna make it like a 400 by 600. So you can see I'm creating it. It's down there. It's a big box. The height, I'm gonna put it like 10 millimeters, just to have something. I'm gonna create that box. Yeah. And also I'm gonna paint it black because it's like a matte. I'm gonna make it like a matte or something. So I'm gonna paint it black. I can just, in part one here, I can just modify, yeah, graphic appearance or set color, whichever you want. I'm gonna paint it black. Okay, now I have a black matte. And I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move it up here. So I'm just gonna go to modify and then set position, and I'm gonna move it to this table, to the first table. So I'm gonna just select there, and do not forget the snapping tool. Again, select the position, maybe there. You can see now it's up there. Yeah, I can apply. Now my mat is up there. I can close it. There you go. I think I'm gonna move it a little bit to the right. So I can use the move and rotate function, move it in the Y direction. Let's move it like 75 millimeters just to keep it centered. There you go. Now I have my mat there. And I'm gonna put another tray on top of this mat. I'm gonna put another one. So browse geometry, PCR base fixture. This is the one that I'm gonna use. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna move it. Yeah, and I'm gonna put it on top of this mat. So modify, set position to the center. Here, you can see that it's not quite in the center. I'm gonna rotate this like 90 degrees. Yeah, like minus 90 or something. It doesn't matter. No, let's keep it at 90 because what I want is the zero of this to be on this side. So I'm gonna apply this. And now I'm gonna close it and I'm gonna move it even further so that I can keep this in the center. So to do that, I'm gonna modify some of the, I'm gonna modify the coordinates here. Modify, set position. I'm gonna put 515x. Yeah. Minus 200 in Y and 410 in Z. Why 410? Because it's 400 the height, and I'm just gonna put extra 10 because of the math that is 10 millimeters. So apply, and there we have it. We just move, yeah, we just move our tray, another tray in here. Just put another tray. Okay, so now I think I'm ready. I'm ready to start doing the pick and place. So to do that, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna set some targets. Yeah, I'm gonna set up some targeting here and some targeting here. And to make it faster, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna declare some work objects. Remember what work objects were. So basically, it's a way of like, for example, to reference the target. So I'm gonna create some work objects. In this case, I'm gonna create one work object. The first work object that I'm gonna create is the conveyor work object. I can put the work object underscore conveyor. Yeah, I'm gonna set my user frame. So my user frame, I'm gonna set it to be the corner of the conveyor, this corner there. So I'm gonna use frame by points, 3 points, and then the first point on the x-axis, this one, the second point on the x-axis, that one, and on the y-axis, the other point. There you go, that corner there. Accept. And now my object frame, usually I will set it up here as well, but for now, just exemplary, for the example, of course, I will never do it in here, but let's put it in here in this tray. I will never put it in here because this is a movable object. So imagine in reality, if this has a lot of tolerance because of the way it moves, I will not put it in here. But for now, let's put it in there. Why not? It's just an example. So 3 point as well. Let's put X, another in X. I'm sorry, one in X, the second one in X, and the third one in Y. There you go, accept. And I can create it, and there you go. I have my first work object. I can attach my work object to this and stuff. I'm not gonna do it because this is part of another tutorial. For now, I'm just gonna keep it like that. I'm gonna make another work object because one thing will be the coordinates or the target of the pick, and another one will be the coordinates or the targets of the place. So let's see here. I'm gonna create another work object. And here, create a work object. There you go. I'm going to create it with the corner of the table, this one. Well, in here I'm going to put it work object working table. I'm going to, the user frame, I'm going to set it to be this corner. So that corner there in X, and one in Y will be maybe that one there. I didn't select it. That one there, accept. And now my user frame, I'm going to define my user frame to be in here. So I'm going to create my my object frame to be in my working object in this tray, because usually this trace is fixed because it's in the table. So usually they are fixed. So I can do it in this one. Yeah. So this is one, this is the second point, and the third point in there. Accept, create, and there you go. I've created my working objects. Now my targets, for example, when I go picking, when I go to the pick part, when I do the picking, I will reference it with this work object, and the place will be referenced to this work object. Yeah, I'm gonna create a set of targets, so easy targets, not too complicated. The first one that I'm gonna create, maybe one in here in the corner. You will see why. You will see why in a sec. I'm just gonna create it there. Yeah. And I'm gonna put it around a little bit up, a little high up. So I'm gonna select it and then modify. Here I'm gonna put it, let's put it 700. Modify more or less. Yeah, I like it, kind of like it. It's a good target there. Then I'm gonna add a new one. Yeah. I'm gonna add a new one here, which is gonna be maybe in the center. Yeah, I think I like it here. I like it like kind of in the center. Let's add a new one. Yeah, like maybe in the center of the whole of here. Well, I need to select the point. There you go. But with a height of 700. I have to select it, 700, modify, and there you go. Now I can see that one is like more in the front. I'm gonna put it at the same level. So this is in Y, so 361.8, 361.8, modify. Now both are in the same level. Yeah. And now I'm gonna create different positions to approach, to get close to the pick position, and then an offset of those positions so that I can pick it and then raise it and then come back. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is as follows. I'm going to create those first. Create. There you go. Oh, by the way, I made a mistake. You can see I made a total mistake because I put it in the work object table. I didn't change it in here to be conveyor. I can just drag and drop them. Like, for example, select both and just drop them into the work object conveyor. And do you want to reposition the targets? No, because I want to keep it in the same place. I just want to move the work object. So no. And there you go. And now my targets are in the work object conveyor. You can see them here. Pop, pop. Okay. So there you go. The next one I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do one in the center of all this. To do that in the center, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from a center point, this center point, to that center point, which is 97 millimeters. Okay, so 97. So I'm going to create a target in the center of this square here at the center, and I'm going to add it in the x direction plus 97 divided by 2. You can do math in here, and you will see. I'm sorry, it was minus. So minus 97. There, I'm going to remove this one. Okay, I'm going to create a new one from scratch. Sorry about that. So I'm going to create a point there. Minus 97 divided by 2. I'm sorry, I didn't select the point. Minus 97 divided by 2. Sometimes this automatic things is really, it's not that good. But now you can see there is a point in the middle in there. Yeah. So I can remove that one. I can remove point 2. Just leave point 1 that is in the center of all this. Which is what I want, because that's the point that I want my TCP to be at when I pick it, when I pick this thing. Yeah, I'm going to create a new point using the same reference, I look at this. I didn't change again the working table. I need to put it into conveyor. So I'm going to just drag and drop it. Yes. I did. I think I did reposition of the targets. No. So drag and drop it, reposition the targets. No. I have it in there. I'm going to make a new one, selecting this target as the example. By the way, if you cannot see it, you will see it if I put this, make it this invisible. Visible, you can see my target is in there. So I'm going to create a new one with the same position as this one. There you go. Just a little bit offset, which, by the way, to see how offset do I want the point. Yeah. I think I'm going to make it, instead of 550, let's put like 600 in here. Let's modify this. There you go, more or less that. And I think it is, but I'm going to just make sure that it's correct. I'm going to make it visible again. Or it is visible. Here you go. And you can see that my target is actually not that bad. Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to add a new one. Yeah. And in this new one, I'm going to add another one in the same position, but just a bit backwards. Yeah, just a bit backwards, like instead of 475, maybe 395. Add, there you go, another one. And I'm going to add another one, even another one, just a bit closer to the previous one, like, I don't know, 370, something like that. I'm going to add it. There you go. I'm going to also add another one on the bottom of this, you know, to have two at the same height of this one. Yeah, so I'm going to make another one in the same position, but with a different set, which in this case is 550, around 550. I think it was 0.7. So I'm going to add it. There you go. And how do I know that it was 550? Well, I can create this if I want, and you will see that if I put here the target in the middle of the piece, is this one. I can verify its position by set position here with respect to the world, and you can see that it's 550.7. Yeah. So I'm gonna make two more that I forgot. I haven't done them. I'm gonna add two more. So target, there you go. In the same. I'm sorry, I can select the one on top. There you go, this one. I didn't select it. There you go, that one. And instead of 600, 550.7. Modify. There you go. And create. Now I have all my targets for the pick. You can see them. So now I can close this. I can put some names to the target. I like to do it. Like for example, target pre-initialize pick. Then the next one, target pick init pick. Initialize the pick. Then the next one, that one is in the middle, so I'm gonna put it like this. Is gonna be the target pick. This one is gonna be the target pick offset. There you go. The next one, I'm gonna put it target close pick offset. The next was target approach pick. And I'm sorry, this approach pick, it was with offset. And I think the other one, it has offset. There you go. Now this one, target approach pick with no offset. And finally, this one, target close pick. And there you go. I always try to put names so that I don't get confused, and that is easier for me to verify them. Now you can see that I have this these targets. Now, if I want to see the robot to see if it reaches this target, yeah, what I need to do is I click on the target, for example, in this pre-init pick, and view robot at target. You can see the robot doesn't move. Why it doesn't move? Because there is no joints. There is no joint configuration that allows me to have this. Like, for example, the set of the TCP to be this set, the X of the TCP to be this X, the Y of the TCP to be this Y. There is none. Yeah, there is no configuration. There is no joint configuration that allows me to have this. So I need to rotate these targets as we have done in the previous tutorials. So here it is, modify target, rotate. I only want to rotate the target. I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. What do I want? I want set to be in the front. Yeah, so I'm going to rotate 90 degrees in X. Let's see, apply. There you go. Now set is in the front, but I want the Y to be up. So I'm going to rotate around set as well, 90 degrees. There you go. Okay, now you can see that my target, now my robot moved. There is a combination of joints that allows me to go to this target. I'm gonna close it. There you go. And I want all my targets to have the same orientation. So I'm gonna copy the orientation of this one, copy position, orientation relative to the world, and I'm gonna put the same orientation to all my points. Yeah, and here I go to apply position relative to the world. There you go. Now all my points are reachable. There you go. This one, that one, that one, that one. Of course, what I have done previously is to verify if these points are reachable by the end effector. And how did I do that? What I did was I go to my robot in the layout and I show, like I told you before, you can see show working envelope. And this is the working envelope without the TCP, without the tool. With the active tool, you can see that is all the points are inside my working envelope. So they are quite good. Yeah. So I'm going to close this. Okay, one thing that we need to be aware of is that look how this robot is moving. ABB, look at how the ABB logo is like this. If I go to the next target, that is this one, for example, the ABB logo kind of is going backwards, you know, going to like rotating a lot. If I go to this one, for example, to the next one, it's going to rotate a lot. And why is it rotating too much? You see, now it's totally backwards. So that's the configuration of the joints. So for each target that we have, we need to configure the joints, especially when we have like complicated paths. Yeah, we need to modify the configuration at that point of the robot. Yeah. In this case, if I right click on each one of the targets and go to configurations, it shows me how many possible configurations there are or there exist, so that my robot can be at this point. And I can choose which configuration do I want for each one of the targets. Like for example, you see, like for example, this is another configuration, this is the other one, this is another one with this totally rotated to the other side. We have that configuration. We have, I'm going to show you from the side. We have that configuration possible. So we have different types of configuration actually possible, you know? Which one do I prefer? That's the question here. Yeah, do I want that one or do I want this one with the, you see, with the arm like this? I prefer like elbow down configuration, kind of. This usually doesn't rotate the other way around. Usually it's like this. But I think I prefer the rotation to be like that. Yeah, because if we remember the way my robot started, well, not like that, I'm sorry, with the ABB logo, that side. Yeah, so that it can rotate this way and this just rotate that way. So yes, that's the configuration that I'm going to be using. I'm going to click apply. And now I can go to the next configuration, to the next point. And you see now that I also have different configurations for that target. It can be like this, can be like that. Yeah. But I think I'm going to choose this one. Yeah, I'm going to choose this configuration so that it follows more smoothly from here to here. So I'm going to apply. Now I can go to my next point, like this one, for example. And you can see now it rotated, it totally rotated to the other side. I can go to the next one. I can go to this one. I can go to the center one. But you see that between this and that, it rotated. And between this and this, it rotated. So it's rotating a lot. Yeah, which it doesn't look that bad. Actually, I can make a path. Let's see if with a path we can make it work. So I'm just going to create an empty path. This here I'm going to put P underscore pick, the path to pick. And I'm going to start filling out this path with the working with the targets that I just made. So they were in the working conveyor. There you go. So the first thing is the pre-initial pick. This one, I'm going to drag and drop it. You can see. So I'm moving there. Then the next one is going to be init pick. Yeah. Then the next one, I want it to be approach pick offset. Yeah. Then approach pick. Then close pick. then pick, then pick offset, then close pick offset, and then finally approach pick offset. There you go. And now I want it to go to again to init pick, and then go back to pre-init pick. So now I have, that's my, it's gonna go like this, it's gonna pick it up, you know, pull it up, and then it's gonna go back. That's my picking routine. In the when we are in the code, I'm gonna change the values of set, the values of the sound, and the values of the velocities, but that's when we are in the code in Rapid. So I'm gonna check if this works, move along the path, and there you go. Yeah, for now I'm just gonna leave it like this. Like I told you, when we are in the Rapid code, we're gonna change it. For now, it's just defining the targets and making sure they work. Yeah. Again, I'm gonna repeat, move along the path, look at the rotations. There you go. Then I'm gonna set up some other targets in here, but one trick that you can do, especially because this tray and that tray, they measure exactly the same. You know, they are exactly the same trays. So what I can do is I can redefine, or I can just copy these targets, into my working table object. And do I want to reposition them? Of course, because now I want them to be with reference to this. I have this reference in here in the corner, and I have this reference in the same corner. So I'm just gonna copy paste them, and they are gonna appear in here. There you go. But now they are repositioned because now I want them with respect to this work frame or work object. So as you can see, now it's easier. And for the place, the first thing is I'm gonna move this a little bit. I don't want to keep it in there, so I'm gonna move it maybe to with respect to the local. There you go. I'm just gonna move it maybe 250. There you go, more or less there, so that it's initialized here, goes here for the place, and then it goes and places the object, and then retracts and go. Yeah, so I don't need that many targets now, but I'm just gonna keep some of them so that I don't have to redo them again. So for example, this target, like I don't need these 4 targets of approaching because I'm just placing things. So I don't need that one. I don't need this one. I just want to come, place it, go back up again, and that's it. So actually, I don't even need this one. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it things as simple as possible because it's an example. Of course, the more robust you want your stuff, you can, your program, you can make it as robust as you want, create as many targets as you want. This is just for a simple example, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. So now I'm gonna create another path, empty path. Yeah, and I'm gonna start like, okay, pre-init, instead of pick, I have to replace in here, place, place offset, place, init place. There you go. So I'm gonna start with the path with the pre-init. You can see that I'm putting in there. Then the init place, then the place offset, then the place, then again the place offset because I'm gonna go up, then the init again, and then the pre-init again. There you go. And I can make a new position just for the sake of making a new position. I can just tell my robot, like, okay, robot, go home, like move pose, jump home, and I'm gonna create a new target, but with respect to the double work object 0, so that nobody is owner of that target. I'm gonna teach a target there. Yes, I know. And you can see that I just made a target in the work object 0. Where is it? Work object 0. There you go. And this is the target home. I'm just gonna add it in there just to have something. Okay. Now let's see if this path, which I'm gonna call path place, is gonna work. But before that, I'm going to check if my configurations or the configurations of the joints of my robot, because at each target you can have different configurations. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to check per target the configuration of that my robot has. Like, for example, if I go to I can put here view robot at target, I can activate it, then go to this target, and you can see my robot goes in that configuration, in that joint configuration. You can have different type of configuration. Like, for example, let's go to that point, to that target. I can click on it, and here it says configurations. And you can see that this robot can reach this target in using different joint angles, like that one, that one. You can see how it looks now. That one, that one, that one, that one. So you can select any configuration that you want. Yeah. One of the, I'm not going to say it's a trick. Yeah. Because look, this configuration is with this part like this, and the first one is the same, but they aren't like that. So I'm not going to say it's a trick, because you can configure this using if you right click here on the path, you can auto configuration, and it auto configures all the joints to make them move smoothly between them. And you can do it manually, which this is the one that I recommend. So in this case, one of the, I'm not going to say a trick, but one of the ways that I do it is I look at the logo of ABB on this side, because at the end of the day, what do I want? I want that when I move linearly, because remember, we have a joint movement and linear movement. When I move linearly between one target and the other, and then the next one and the next one, and so on and so forth, one of the tricks is to not make too many rotations or large rotations. Try to make them as small as possible. Yeah, so that you don't get into any singularities or anything. So that's one way of looking at this. So for example, look at the ABB logo here. Yeah. So between this target, yeah, between this target and this target, look how much the ABB logo rotates. It starts in here, and this is going to rotate to the left when I reach this target, which is good, because if I select the other configuration, it's going to rotate totally. Look at this. This is one, and this ABB logo in this area, in this section, is going to end up in here, which I don't want that. Like in this, if I select the other configuration, it's going to end up the other way around. So it's going to rotate fully, a full 360 rotation, just to try to keep the same linear movement. So in this case, I don't want that. What I want is, look at the ABB logo from here, and it's just a small rotation to there. So I select that configuration that gives me the least amount of rotation between my joints. Now another one, if I go here to the next one, you can see that the ABB logo is just a small rotation between here and here. Look at the logo. Because if I select another configuration, look at that, it's a whole rotation. So between that one and that one, I'm sorry, if I select, for example, this one and apply it, between this one and that one is going to be a full 360 rotation, and I don't want that. So I want the previous configuration. I'm going to apply it. and so on and so forth. That's how you start going checking one by one. Yeah. And try to mimic one of the also the ways I do it is I try to mimic the movement. So I'm going to start in this point with the ABB logo like that. Then I'm going to go to that point. You see, it didn't rotate too much. I'm going to go next to this point. It didn't rotate too much. Then to the other point, it's the same. Then I'm going to go this way. It's a good movement. That's a good movement. Good movement. Good. Good. And then go back. And then good. So you can see that all my movements are quite smooth. I don't require like large rotations, yeah, because I can go into singularities. So that's a good thing with this. I'm gonna do the exact same thing with the other path. Like for example, if I go to this target, you can see that my ABB logo now is here. So from there, I'm just gonna rotate to here, which because it's a large distance, from here to there, yeah, if I, like for example, if I select another configuration, it's gonna look weird and it's gonna rotate 360 this thing. I don't want that, so I'm gonna leave it like that. The same thing in here. Look at this. If I select this one, no, I prefer the previous one so that I don't rotate. This one the same, that one the same. So I keep repeating the steps that I'm gonna be doing, and the configuration seems to be fine. Just beware because the configuration that ABB selects automatically can be random. So that's why, like, luckily for me, this selection was good, but for you, it might be another selection. So you have to properly select configuration. If you don't know how to configure or you don't get it, just right click on the path or right click on the target. Yeah. And in here, I'm sorry, right click on the path. And in here, you can right click in there and you can auto configuration. And it's going to configure all the poses so that this path can be made. Because if there is a configuration that does not work, like for example, let's go to this one, for example, like here, and let's select this configuration there. Yeah, I'm going to apply, and if my configuration is wrong, my path is not going to be able to simulate it. The program is not going to be able to simulate my path. Like move along path, and you see it's not simulating anything. And you can go to the logs down here and you can immediately see here robot configuration error. I cannot move. So I need to verify the point that I configure, and you see it's because of that large rotation that I have. So I need to reconfigure this one. I need to select the other configuration, apply, and now I can go back to my path like in here, and let's see if it does it now, like move along path. Now it does it. You see, so we have to be very careful with the configuration, with the post configuration of the robot. Yeah, like I said, one of the tricks in this software is to make sure that the logo of ABB, like look for a special part. Like for example, I look at the logo. You can look at anything else, but look at the special, like in this, the logo, and try to move it when using linear movements, not joint movements. When using linear movements, try to move it the least amount possible. Like for example, a small rotation only. Small rotations. Yeah, so everything. If you require large rotations, then you have to add in between targets. So you have to add targets in between the, like for example, I really need this from here to there to rotate 360 because I have a, I don't know, I have a gripper or some end of some tool that I attach to the robot that actually needs 360 rotation. So then try to add several steps or several targets where you start managing the rotation little by little, because or make a joint movement, make a full joint movement from here to there. Yeah, change it to a joint movement. Yeah, so instead of making a linear movement, you make a full joint movement and you can rotate the joints any way you want. But anyway, the best practice is to always put intermediate targets between one and the other so that the robot can move properly. Okay, in this case, I already have this, and also this side, I'm gonna just test it, but I think my configuration was good. I'm gonna test my place. Let's see, move along path. You see, there is a
there is a thing there that is not able to move. Actually, you can see joint out of range, and this is because I am trying to move linearly from here all the way here. Yeah, I'm trying to move linearly from here all the way here. By the way, whenever you start doing this move along path, as you can see that a simulation starts, so you have to go and stop the simulation. Like, let's see if I, because let me show it to you again. Move along path. Yeah, it's not working because the joint is out of range. Yeah, and well, that's easy because basically the movement or the configuration that I selected was not proper. So I'm gonna verify my configurations. So checking let's check the configurations. In here, I'm gonna go to where is it? Modify configurations. There you go. You can check the configuration of each one of the target. So for example, for the first target in place, I'm sorry, pre-init place, the ABB logo is good. Now with, I'm sorry, then the init place, you can see it's good. You can see the place offset is also good. You see the logo. So I'm not doing too many. Like for example, I want to move from the pre-init place, then to the init place, then to the offset place, then to the place, and then go back. Yeah, so they look good. So it's not because of my of my configurations. So what I can do is I can run it again. I can go to my initial pre-init place. I can put the robot there. I can just move it along the path. Let's see. And you see it's not doing anything. That means there is still something wrong with my path. So I can go to the logs here, like down here, I can go to the logs. And it says like there is a joint out of range. Yeah. So there is something like one of these joints to perform the movement that from here to there or something. One of these joints will be out of range. And this is sometimes, and one of the things that I can see is that this robot is quite close. Like for example, to move from here to there, yeah, you will need this not only to rotate in this one, yeah, but maybe one of the joints needs to be like super close. This joint might need to be like this joint in here might need to rotate a bit more so that it can run from here to there. So basically the joint is going to be out of range if it moves from here to there. So what I can do then is I can make the targets, a little bit. I can move the targets a little bit forward. Yeah. In this case, I think I move it, but okay. So I can move the targets a bit forward. So I can just select in home, move and rotate here, the tool. I'm going to move the targets a bit forward. Move and rotate. I'm going to move them forward, like, I don't know, 30 millimeters. So that it's not super close. My joints are still in range. Yeah, I'm going to do the same in here with this one. I'm going to move it a little bit. There you go. And now you can see that from here to there, yeah, I think it was this joint, the one that was out of range. So that when I follow this path, one of the joints will be out of range. So I think, let me see if it works now. I'm gonna go to the initial position and then run the place, move along path. And there you go. Now it's working. Yeah. Again, just to make sure, move along path. There you go. Now everything is in range. Yeah. And it was true because this was very close. This was so close to this joint was so close to this that any minor movement will set out this joint to be out of range. So now I have my paths. Everything seems to be working correctly. One of the things that I can actually do sometimes, and especially when I have movements like from this one to all the way to this one, all the way to this, I usually put an in-between target, a target in between these two, just to make sure that I follow a nice path. Another thing that I can do is to change this pre-init target. We can change it to modify instruction. And I'm sorry, edit instruction. And instead of linear, let's make it a joint instruction. The same thing for this one. Why? Because they are quite far away and I don't really care how it moves too much. Yeah, so I forgot to put apply. So I put a joint, apply, and then in the first one, this one also a joint movement and apply. And I think it's gonna still work. So I actually don't worry too much. Move along path in the first one. There you go, it's moving perfectly. Now go to the place and move along path from here, and it's gonna go and do it. Yeah. Of course, because I'm in here, I'm having something with liquids inside. I will put some targets in between so that the movement is smooth, and I prefer some linear movements instead of joint movements because joint movements can be quite aggressive. But for now, this is just an example, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. Yeah. So things to remember always. Configuration at each one of the targets. We have to configure how our robot is, the joints of our robot, because there can be multiple configurations for each one of the targets. One of the tricks, look for something or for some features in the robot and try to keep those features without too much movement or without like large movements. Yeah, so avoid making large movements. And another thing, make sure that the targets are actually reachable and that the joints, are not out of bounds. In this case, that what's happening with this target was too close. And this target was too close. So when it moves from one target to another, one of the joints went out of bounds. So I think it's that one. I think it was that one. So you can just move them a bit further in front, and that will, I just move them a bit further, and that solved the problem. Now, let's go then and do the place, the pick and place. To do the pick and place, what we're going to do is, this thing already got, I don't know why it got moved, but anyway. So I'm just going to bring it back here to the, there you go. So I'm going to open my gripper. And now let's do the pick and place. To do the pick and place, one of the things that we're going to be using is another event. So what is the event? Whenever this, the gripper crashes, or in this case collisions, makes a collision, or collides with this base, yeah, in this case with this PCR, with this fixture or this PCR plate, whenever there is a collision, we can capture that event, we can verify that event, and we can take decisions based on such event. And we're going to use that. Actually, collisions are very used. Collisions as events, they are widely used in ABB Road Studio. Like for example, I can make one square, one box in here, and if this base collides with that box, let's imagine the box is a sensor. Yeah, if something collides with that sensor, do something. Yeah, like for example, to do a collision, let's go here, create collision set. Yeah, a new set of collision is going to be created, and this object A and object B. So which object am I going to check for a collision? In this case, I'm going to check the gripper. I can just drag and drop it. There you go, the gripper, and I want to check the collision between the gripper and the plate. There you go. And you can see that it's actually going to check the collision. Look, I'm going to move the robot to there, and I'm going to close the gripper, and you can see the collision. Yeah. So that collision can trigger an event or can trigger something. Yeah, I can use collisions not only to verify things, because I can actually, normally collisions are used to verify things, verifies that the object is in a correct position, whatever. But I can use collision to trigger events. Like I was telling you, if I want to make a sensor, like maybe one of these laser curtain sensors, I can make, what I can do is I can model a box. Yeah, I can model a box. I can put it like in here, I don't know, in this conveyor. I can put the box like a vertical box in this conveyor, like in here. And when this one collides with that vertical box, I can make that vertical box to be invisible. Yeah. But whenever this one collides, trigger something, maybe stop the conveyor or maybe do something else. I can use collisions for that. In this case, I'm going to use this collision to set up something. In this case, what I want to, whenever these two collide, I want to deattach this from the plate or from this base. I want to deattach this plate from this base, and I want to attach this to the gripper so that the gripper can take it and move it here. And when the gripper opens, I wanna deattach this from the gripper so that this can be left in the place, in this place, you know, and this is going to be a pick and then a place. And we're going to use collisions for that. Let's go to simulations. Actually, it's quite easy. Let's go to simulation. In here, configure. Let's go to the event manager. And now in here, we're going to add an event. Yeah. A pop-up window opens. In here, check for collisions. So when the collision started, what collision sets? Because we can have many collision sets. We can create as many collisions as we want. So collision set 1. Yeah. In here, I'm gonna attach an object. When the collision starts, attach an object. Which object? I'm gonna attach the PCR fixture blue. I'm gonna keep the position because remember, I want to, when I attach the PCR, well, the plate, I want that position to be kept. I don't want to update that position. And then I'm gonna attach it to the gripper. Finish. Yeah, so now the collision attaches the object. But also I want to add an action to deattach an object, because I'm gonna attach it to the gripper, but I have to deattach it from who? I need to detach the fixture or the plate. I need to detach it from the conveyor, because it right now is attached to the conveyor, so I have to detach it. And what do I want to do first? I want first to detach and then to attach. So I'm going to put it like this. Yeah. Check if everything is fine. And then I'm going to add another function. When the collision finishes, when the collision endeth, when the collision finishes, basically when I open the gripper, the collision will finish, will end. And I'm going to detach the object. I'm going to detach the blue fixture or the blue plate from the gripper. Finish. And there you go. And using these events now, I can, if I close it, the collision is going to be detected, but now it's attached to my gripper. Actually, if I move my robot to this position, you see it's attached. And if I open my gripper, now it's totally detached. I can move the robot and now it's totally detached. Yeah, if I close my gripper again, it's going to be attached, and I can move it back here and I can detach it. Okay, so you can see it's quite useful. Yeah, using collisions. You can use collisions to detect a lot of things. Like I said, you can make a invisible box that represents some sort of laser curtain or something like that, and check the collision with invisible boxes. Now, one of the things that you might notice is that these big messages are going to appear. Actually, we can make them disappear. If we go to the collision set, here in layout, you have the collision set. You can right click on it, modify collision set, and in here you can show markup at collision. Well, you always need to have it active. Okay, detect collision with invisible objects, because like I told you, you can make invisible objects and you can detect collisions with them. Usually to make sensors, you use them to make sensors. Yeah, And in here, to highlight the coding and all this stuff, you can remove all this. And there you go. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I deactivated the collision. I haven't applied the change. Activate the collision. There you go. Yeah. So now the collision is active and you can move your things. So that's how it works. Yeah. Basically, if I remove this, if I unselect this highlight colliding and show markup at collision, you can remove it and everything is gonna disappear. All the messages are gonna disappear. And now it looks like you actually pick and place things. Okay. I'm gonna close this. And now that I have all this, now I can go to my Rapid. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna synchronize all this to Rapid so that I can have all my positions and my new targets and everything. And then I'm gonna go to Rapid, and in here in Rapid, I can go to my main. You can see that I still have the program from the previous tutorial. I'm gonna do some changes in here, very simple changes. Yeah, and well, let's start programming in Rapid then. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I want to move my I'm gonna eliminate this for loop because I'm not gonna need it anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna remove all that. And what is the first thing that I need? My first thing is I'm gonna put an initial state. So an initial state will be move the conveyor home or make sure the conveyor is at home. Remember in the simulation, make sure the conveyor is in the starting position. Yeah. So move conveyor at home and check if the conveyor is actually at home. So I'm just gonna put it there. Also, open the gripper and make sure the gripper is open. So this is it. Then the next thing will be we're gonna move the conveyor to the peak position and wait. Okay. Move the conveyor to the peak position and wait. Then I will start the peak movement. So P underscore peak. Okay. I'm sorry. There you go. So P underscore peak. And then go P underscore place. Then after they do the pick and the place, move the conveyor back home, verify if the conveyor is actually at home. Yeah, and then open the gripper. You see very simple things that I'm doing, so nothing too fancy. There you go. And now the only thing left for me to do is in the pick and place, in the pick and place state, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add when I reach the peak position, yeah, I'm gonna set, basically I'm gonna close the gripper, no? Set digital output, gripper control, set it to 1 so that I close the gripper, wait until the gripper is closed, wait di, gripper state, wait until the gripper is totally closed, and then go to and in the place one. Yeah, after I reach my place, my my target place, after I reach that target, I'm gonna open my gripper. No, gripper control, open the gripper, and wait until the gripper is fully open. And then just continue with the program. There you go. So now basically I move the conveyor, I open my gripper, I move my conveyor to the pick position, make sure it arrives, pick place, yeah, and then move the conveyor back home, yeah, and open the gripper. And that's it. Well, there is one thing left to do for me to do, is to verify the speeds, to change the speeds, because remember we haven't changed those speeds. Yeah. So for example, here, every time, that's why I put several targets, like for example, a pre-initialize, an initial target, and so on and so forth. So usually for pre-initialization targets, I put like around 400 or something. I don't care too much about the precision at that point, so I can leave it like that. I can leave the zone to be 100. Remember, this 100 represents a radius, yeah, a radius of 100 millimeters, yeah, around that target. Yeah, I can reduce it, I can decrease it, it's fine, but for now I'm gonna just keep it like that. So for the initial pick, I'm gonna define also 200 and 100 in here, 400 in here, and 100 there. Now I'm gonna start slowing down the more I approach to my the more I approach to the plate, the more I get closer. I have to be slower and I have to be more careful, so or my radius is going to decrease. I'm going to start decreasing my radiuses. So here 50, 200, yeah, a little bit slower. Yeah, in fact, I think this approach pick, I'm going to put it slower, 100. Yeah, close pick as well, 100. Yeah. And in here, I think I'm going to put fine, because now I'm quite close to my, yeah. And then when I pick it, when I 50, like, and fine, because I really want to reach that point. Yeah. I can actually copy paste. Well, actually, this is what I like to do. Yeah. Like pick offset, I want to move it like slowly. So I'm going to copy paste that one. I can just copy paste the next position because it's offset. Well, not copy the position, copy the parameters of the position. Yeah. And then I can just go, because it's init pick, I can just move a bit faster in the init pick. Yeah. And in the pre-init pick, I can just go faster. There you go. I can do exactly the same with these ones. Yeah. In this case, I can put, I don't know, 400 in here in the place. I don't care too much about the region. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't care too much about precision. But I start caring more and more and more. You can do this by trial and error. You can just compile this, upload this, and trial and error do it. So in here, what I'm just doing is I'm just repeating. You can choose any other velocity that you want. This is just for example. This is just an example, so it's fine. There you go. Yeah. Now I can apply this, apply all. Then we can synchronize this to the station. Do not forget to synchronize to the station. Okay. And now let's go back to our station, home. Before we start our simulation, we need to make sure that everything is in the right initial position. So to do that, we're going to check, like for example, if I move my conveyor there, you can see that it's not attached. this thing, because I moved it. I made some movements. Remember, I deattach it. I attach it to the gripper, then deattach it again. So I haven't attached it back to the plate, or to the tray. I'm sorry, this is a tray. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set an initial position for my simulation. So what is the initial position of my simulation? The first thing that I need is to attach this into the tray. So I'm gonna go attach it back to the tray here. Do not update the position. I'm gonna move my conveyor back. Yeah, I'm gonna move this conveyor back to the position, to the initial position. I'm gonna move my robot to the home position. Move to the home position. Yeah, I'm gonna check if my signals are correct, because I'm setting up an initial state of my system. The conveyor is here you can see the conveyor position home is on, which is correct because I'm at home. The position pick is off, correct. The gripper state is off because it's open, correct. Move conveyor is off, gripper control is off. Let's see the station signals. Conveyor at home, it's fine. There is no peak, no gripper state, so it's fine. So all my signals are correct. My positions now are correct. That's what I want. So I'm gonna set this as an initial state of my system. So I can go to simulation. Here, reset, and save current state. And I can put an initial state, so that when I send this to anyone that is already, you see, and I can include it in the tutorial. So I will include this initial state when I save the file. So whenever someone receives it, it can just go reset initial state and then play, and it's gonna work. Yeah, so I can press OK. You can see that I'm saving the input output signal values. I am saving the variable values, the physics behavior, the visibility, everything, the joint states. I'm saving everything as an initial state. OK. So now I can just press play. And if I press play, it moves, starts, picks it up, and plays it. And this goes back. And there you go. And if I want to reset everything, I can just click in here, initial state, and everything is going to go back to normal, and I can just press play again, and it's going to work once more. And there you go. So that's it for this tutorial. This was the final tutorial of this series of ABB Robot Studio tutorials. Yeah. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy it, and see you in the class.